Alright, welcome everybody to Warframe. This is a game that I used to play quite a bit back in the day. I probably haven't played in about a year. But according to Steam, I have about 170 hours into it. Pretty popular game. It is still in beta, so they do a lot of changes here and there. They add a lot of new content, and I figured I'd just give it another shot. So, enjoy! Looks like we have to go through a little bit of a tutorial mission here, but once we get through this, we'll pick up the progress where I left off. I don't know if I will start over or just continue from where I'm at, because once you progress in the game a little bit, you unlock a lot of very difficult to unlock content. It's a lot of grinding for, you'll see you have to get blueprints for new warframes, and it takes a long time to build the weapons and things like that. So we'll see what we got here. Looks like the new tutorial is quite a bit better than the old one.
Sent their most beloved commander, Vor, on an urgent mission.
So a little bit of background on the game. Basically, there's different planets that you have to travel to, and each planet has a couple of different sets of maps that you can go through. So when you spawn into a planet, it randomizes which map you play. It'll close certain doors, open other doors, and just make it pretty dynamic so you're not playing the same map over and over again. It does get a little bit repetitive if you're, again, grinding a certain material that's only found on one planet, or a certain blueprint that's only found on one boss. But they do a pretty good job about keeping it light and keeping the objectives changing every time you play. Vor is one of the commanders, or one of the bad guys that you have to defeat throughout the game. There's some lower levels, there's some, I can't remember exactly, but there's some missions where you go into this, like, ascension place, and you can go into your Great Hall and you can have guilds and things like that. It gets a little bit complicated, but I'm going to try and stay just to the storyline and to the planets here. So to begin with, we have 3 different warframes that we can choose from for the tutorial. When you start a brand new game, this is the same thing that you'll come up against. So Excalibur, Mag, and Volt are the 3 different ones that you can choose from. Excalibur, I believe, is kind of the recommended intro character. It's a lot of melee, so slash and dash, radial blind, radial javelin, and exalted blade. Just different things you can do with your melee weapons, so you don't have to worry about ammo and you don't have to worry about using up your power. Mag is somebody who uses magnetic fields, so pull, shield, polarize, bullet attractor, and crush. It's a little bit harder to use because you have to make sure that you balance your force powers and things like that, and then your weapons are really secondary. Volt is more offensive: shock, speed, electric shield, and overload. This will cause all of your enemies to explode, and it will launch a projectile at your enemy. So this is definitely the offensive magic user, or the force user. This is the defensive force user, and then this is your atypical melee user. I will start with Volt. Volt is actually one of my favorite characters, even endgame. I used Volt for quite a while. I started out with Excalibur. It was good to learn on, but once I was able to build a Volt frame, it did become my favorite. So we'll use Volt and confirm.
Wake up, Tenno.
I see the Lotus has tried to wake you. Pity she's too late. You're my prize now, Tenno. No. We are taking this one with us.
What has he done to you? I can't lose another Tenno. I am searching your Warframe's power systems.
I gotta say, this is pretty cool.
Use your power. Defend yourself.
So, like I said, he uses electricity for his power. It has pretty good mechanics as far as sprinting, dashing. You can jump and strafe and do all kinds of moves like that. They'll drop the typical items. I believe this is ammo.
An extraction
This is a health pack. This is a kind of a force recharge.
Arm yourself.
The graphics are pretty good, especially for a free game. Usually the graphics suffer a little bit, or they're last generation, things like that. But this has historically, since the day it was launched, been pretty decent. So we can do the bow staff or the sword. I personally like the sword. I think there are differences. So if I double jump, you can do kind of a big surrounding attack. Versus this, I think, has like a knockback potential. But I think I personally enjoy just going with the straight up melee.
There's a cache of weapons ahead. Grab what you can.
Stealth attack. Interesting. So it looks like they have some new achievements in as well. If you're stealthy, you can actually do bonus damage. You can do some cool combos like that, where I actually took them out in a stealthy manner instead of just hacking away at them. Alright, so we have Lado, which is your standard pistol, and then we have the kunai, which is more like a throwing dagger type of thing. I don't believe it makes a big difference. I think later in the game the throwing weapons are a little bit more popular, but for now we'll just go with a standard pistol.
Good. The extraction point is up ahead. Hurry before Vor finds out you've escaped.
Okay. So your pistol's not going to be your greatest weapon, but it does a pretty good job for closing in on your enemy. You can distract them and go in for the kill, or wait for your force powers to move up. Some of the bigger bosses and things like that, you will need to use your ranged weapons on, and you probably will run out of ammo.
Salvage team, why have you not reported in?
See, X to open. Alright. The maps are usually littered with these. They can be in a couple of different ways, like this locker here. Otherwise, you'll see that they have just like little storage units that you can break open.
Take what you can. You will require resources to build yourself
So like these.
into a diverse and effective
So I can't actually
warrior.
open this. You physically have to attack it to get inside. Nothing really great. We don't have a big selection of weapons to need ammo for, or things like that. And honestly, our abilities are going to do a lot more damage than our pistol anyway.
You made it. There's the extraction ship.
That can't be good.
You're not ready to face Vor now. Use your melee weapon to block the beam and get inside.
Use my melee weapon. Alright, so we hit F to pull out the weapon, and
My decrepit heart
then
is
we
down.
hold...
This one is stronger than the rest. Lock the area down. This tendo is mine.
Quick, get to the console and release the
All right.
lockdown. Do that, and I will guide you to your old ship.
So-
It's your only chance.
get to the console.
Queens want to destroy you, but I need to know more.
Alright. Looks like this is the console. Not sure how to get up there. So we'll do that. You don't always have to use stairs. Ooh,
on your map.
the boss.
You need to access it to release the lockdown. Get out of there, Tenno. You will have to face more another time when you're fully restored.
Bring here, my sons. Prepare the reinforcements.
That is bad.
We need that Tenno.
Alright. We need to go to extraction. Just... Alright. So the extraction is going to be this way. Very open environments. There really is no exact answer on how you need to complete a mission. If you like parkour, you can kind of jump your way through. If you prefer to take bridges or kind of the more typical ways through, you can. Alright, what do we got up here?
A Tenno flows like fire across the battle terrain. Do you remember how to
Oops.
run on walls?
That is not how you do it. Alright. So wall dash, jump onto the wall, holding space, and then hold it. And you'll go up the wall. Alright, primary weapon time. So, the Paris or the Bratton. I think it's Bratton. This one is your standard FAMAS, you know, just a typical assault rifle. This one is harder to use, but it packs a lot bigger punch. This is similar to like a sniper rifle in the game. So just for funsies, we'll go ahead and do this one. The Paris is actually one of the weapons that you would normally unlock a lot later.
Now, just keep going. Your ship is up ahead.
See, I just did 200 damage to him, which I think he only has 100 health. Obviously there's a little bit of a draw time on it, so it's not the perfect weapon. If you like to spray and pray, obviously the rifle is going to do a lot better for you. Actually, let me just show you guys a little bit. So it took about 4 or 5 shots to take him out. So it's a little bit easier to kind of clear out a room, just, you know, to go from target to target, but that's a little bit more fun. A little bit more unique. You don't get a bow in games a whole lot, so we'll go with this one. Alright, let's watch around corners. Alright, I have to cycle weapons. So again, you can go back to your pistol, your bow, and then if you want to melee from one of your weapons, you just hit E, and it automatically switches you back. So, like I said, that's the benefit of using the bow, because it's slower, but I can clear out this entire room before the enemies even know I'm here.
There it is, your ship. Hurry. Vor's reinforcements must be on their way.
Nice. There we go. I'm sure there's nobody else.
Disengage the suppression system so we can restart the ship. You'll have to bypass the security on that panel.
X. Interesting. So they have these little mini games whenever you're picking locks and things like that. I just hit space whenever it was traveling over those areas. I've never actually seen that before.
Stop touching me, you.
But they're fairly intuitive. They don't lag you down a lot. They're not difficult. They just give you a little bit of more content that you can kind of play with, and a little bit more realism than just cutting the console in half.
Immediate extraction.
Alright, where am I getting shot from?
Tenno, are you free. You cannot hide from these old eyes. I've marked you. You will return to me.
Whoa. Shoot! Take them all out in one shot. Again, remember that you do have some pretty baller abilities that you can use. It's kind of the point of the whole Tennos, but sometimes I just have so much fun playing with the different weapons.
Tenno, the ship is ready. It's time to leave.
There we have it. We have successfully escaped. Launch ourselves back up into space and hopefully reclaim all of the hard-earned gear that I've acquired.
Operator, you have returned. I am Ordis, Ship Cephalon, a shadow of my former self. I cannot serve the operator in such a condition. Order me to self-destruct. I will understand.
The Grineer are ravenous for this old technology. It is superior to theirs. Perhaps there are systems left in the orbiter compartment?
Let's see, segment
Look at this
required.
madness. Those savages. Components.
I've never
removed.
actually
The lower orbiter compartment
seen this
life
area
support.
before,
Why did the
so
operator abandon
I'm just
me?
gonna walk around a little bit, see what we have.
Arsenal management could be restored if the operator wishes it.
And your arsenal is basically your where you get everything outfitted on yourself. There's all kinds of weapons and augments and all sorts of things that you can use to really customize your character. All right, so scanner on. Does that do anything? No? Okay. All right, so install segment.
You are
Arsenal.
Ordis.
All right.
Now I can supply the operator with better monitored firepower. Oh, the violation. Those have been looted as well.
We need to
Alright.
figure out what Captain Vor has done to you and stop him, but we'll need help. I've found a communication segment we might salvage for your ship. When you are ready, activate your navigation system.
Ordis hopes the operator will punish the Grineer for dismantling it.
All right. So here we are. This is the typical armory loadout. Here's my Tenno that I currently have equipped. That's the Nova. She has the Null Star, Antimatter Drop, Wormhole, and Molecular Prime. As you start unlocking some of these more advanced Tennos, you get some pretty cool abilities, so I would recommend that you don't stick with one. The first chance you have to be able to farm up the blueprints for a new one, I would recommend you do it. So here's all of the ones that I have. I have a Frost, rank 30, Loki, rank 30, Volt, rank 30, a Nyx, a Nova, all kinds of other ones. I have these unlocked, like the Trinity. It's unranked. I do own it, but I haven't been using it. Here's a whole bunch of other ones that I could potentially get. You have to either buy them with some of the microtransaction money, or you can go out and farm the blueprints. So Volt is, again, probably one of my favorites. Frost is pretty good. I think this was one of the... there's like a top tier on it. I think Frost was one of the top tier, like the special ranks or something like that. I don't remember exactly. It's been about a year, but really all you really need to do is just play around with them, see what you like more. And from here you can kind of see what they all do. The Volt can create and harness electrical elements. Banshee uses sonic attacks, acoustic targeting. You can see kind of her favorite weapon, or his favorite weapon, I guess, is the bow. They don't really make a big difference, but if you're playing through in some sort of like a role-playing manner, you kind of want to stay with the lore of each one of the characters. But yeah, so that's the tutorial. I'm going to go ahead and play around a little bit just to see what other changes there were, just make sure that I know what the content looks like, how to go on missions and things like that. Make sure that nothing substantial has changed. Yeah, I don't want to make you guys suffer through that, so I'll go ahead and take a look around, and as soon as I can, I'll post out a second episode with some more content. So thank you for coming, and enjoy the rest of my videos.